days of Elijah, declaring the word of the Lord. And these are the days of your servant Moses, righteousness being restored. And though these are days of great trials, of famine and darkness and sword, still we are the voice in the desert, crying, prepare ye the way of the Lord. Behold, he comes, riding on the clouds, shining like the sun. At the trumpet call, lift your voice in the year of Jubilee. Out of Zion's hill, salvation come.
I am Pastor Brent Jason Saint-Jean, and I am the evangelist for the Days of Elijah Hope Edition. We decided to call this one Hope Edition because we recognize the world is really going through a hopeless state. I wanted to do something to bring some hope for persons who are struggling with certain addictions and sins. So the term Hope Edition was really to spark a certain optimism and let folks know that there is better to come. This crusade, I must confess, is my most challenging. We faced many challenges. One was the inclemency of the weather. Two, we looked at the time of year, and you know, Vincentians, Christmas time is, everyone is tuned off to the stuff of crusades and so on. Everyone is thinking shop at Jack's or, you know, going to town and do their Sunday shopping, etc. and so forth. I must say I got a lot of flogging and for not choosing not to stream this series, because the Days of Elijah brand has become an international brand. We have thousands of persons who follow the Days of Elijah brand across the world, and they were very disappointed that they didn't get to experience the Days of Elijah Hope Edition. But the reason for not streaming was very simple, and some may not agree with us, but the primary reason for not streaming was that because of the rain that we had at the beginning, we decided to really help build the momentum, to get an in-house crowd, to help with the passion, the energy, and the goals of the campaign.
There are many people who come to crusade every night, but it has no impact on their lives. Because at the end of the day, God will not force your seed into the ground and make it grow. You have to be willing to grow and make the Lord use you mightily. Am I talking truth in the house of the Lord? And Ezekiel said, he set me down in the midst of that fertile valley. But that fertile valley was full of bones.
These are two sermons that really resonated with folks that I got many calls about, and folks have said how it impacted their lives and how they feel stronger spiritually and emotionally as a result of these two messages.
What you are attracted to does not mean you have to conform to it. Any man who is a man like woman, sometimes heaven and earth have to try to hold you back from turning back. And some of us try to make like, oh, you're too holy. Stop lying.
Hope for the Reckless was my favorite sermon for the series. And I think it resonated especially with the young people, because we tend to, how should I say, we tend to ostracize young people who have fallen, who have lived a reckless life, who made terrible mistakes. And sometimes we make them believe that they have lost everything. But that sermon, Hope for the Reckless, was really to let them know that no matter how reckless you may have been, there is still hope for you, there is still room for restoration, there is still room to bounce back and make better decisions and so on. This was a molding experience for myself and the entire team, to teach us resilience and hard work and digging deep, going to the next level, you know, going all out. Because if we really gave up, we would have had a 2-week crusade and say, you know what, the weather is fighting us, we'd give up. But I believe the challenges actually allowed us to be strong, and I believe I'm going much better prepared in the next series that I will have, and knowing that we conquered all these challenges during this campaign. So far we've had 15 baptisms, so we're really grateful. We're grateful for the 15 persons, and what I love about the 15 persons who got baptized last Sabbath, you have a good mix of seniors, middle-aged, children, and, you know, a good crop that could really help sustain the gospel and to really build the Church of the Living God. As a youth director, I love to talk to the young people, especially those who surrendered. And it has been a glorious experience speaking to these new converts about their daily struggles, about living above sin. Because when someone comes to Christ, you know, some people believe that they need to be perfect immediately. Some of us have been walking with the Lord for 30 and 40 and 50 years, and we still have stuff that we struggle with. And it's not fair to have a spiritual babe and expect them to sprint spiritually as soon as they get baptized. They will get stronger and stronger as the days go by. I also spoke to one who lost a husband in the campaign. And that's one of the things that was very tragic about this crusade, is that we had a gentleman who had already made up his mind to be baptized, and he just fell sick. His wife rushed him, folks rushed him to the hospital, but he died on the way to the hospital. And it really kind of gave us this stern reminder that life is very uncertain, and every time that you live your life, stay committed and close to the Lord. What this campaign has taught us is that the Days of Elijah series is not just about plenty numbers. Every crusade has its own merits, its own strengths, its own weaknesses. But I think most of all, it taught us that it was a time of revival for our members and so on. So what I appreciated about this campaign is that it was not only good in terms of seeing folks giving their heart over to the Lord and getting baptized, but it was really a time of refreshing, a time of revival and reformation for our Adventist members, as well as other Christians who came to the tent, because they felt it was a wake-up call, you know, to righteous living, to keep on persevering and pushing to keep on the side of the Lord. And I believe, based on these things, I think it was a tremendous success. There are so many folks that we have to thank. So I want to thank Pastor Carlson Samuel. Always a pleasure going into battle with him. Such a diligent, hard worker, especially when it comes to Bible work and so forth. Meeting with folks, I mean, he's a tower of strength. I always feel better knowing that he's on the team. Pastor Shane Franklin, always a supporter, and one of our administrators, was always helpful, always committed to the cause of Christ. Pastor Ian Williams, our crusade manager, all the ushers and musicians who sacrificed so much, song service leaders who had their own children doing exams, but they came and gave their best. I'm so grateful for that. Those who cooked, we had meals at the end of every night from the various churches in the zone. I'm grateful for that. All our elders, the crusade team members, ushers, I mean, so many folks that I want to thank for the hard work and so on, and dedication to the Days of Elijah, Hope Edition, and most of all, to the cause of Christ. I especially want to thank my family, my wife and daughter. They have been a tower of strength, because this year has been a rough year for us. I did a lot of traveling this year, did a lot of campaigns this year. They have been very understanding, so I'm grateful for my family for staying by my side and supporting the ministry. And many of my friends, Pastor Kenan Kane is a classic example. The pastor for the Southern Grenadines. He came up, and as long as we was up, he came to support, sat up front, encouraged me, and pushed me along while I was preaching. I mean, such a great friend. I'm so grateful for him. And yeah, so many, names too numerous to mention. But I want to say thank you to the whole crusade team and our members for coming out, especially those who braved the weather in the first 2 weeks. I'm truly grateful, and I'm so thankful for the quality and the class that you brought to the Days of Elijah Hope Edition. Keep pushing, keep striving. The world is changing rapidly. Spiritual things are now seen as archaic. They are seen as unpopular. They are seen as ignorant. As you look, righteous living is scorned. And we are living in a world of selfishness, a world of self-gratification. And it's frightening. But I want to encourage them to stay close to God. Even if they fall, get up and keep fighting. The righteous man may fall, but he gets up again. And you have to understand that you have to know why you are in this. We are in this to get to our final destination, and heaven is our home. So my encouragement is, keep your eyes on the prize. Keep your eyes on the goal. Keep your eyes on where we are going. Because at the end of the day, we are just pilgrims here. Heaven is our home. And our general membership, let us never get weary in well-doing. But in due time, we will receive our reward if we faint not.